Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I'm a writer. I write at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com, practitioner of Inner Peace Arts, a way of looking at things that make you mad and being productive. And today's episode is on a kind of duality and a way of, well, maybe some stories it tells, but it's based in two statements: that the mind is interested in belief and the body is interested in survival. And so these two ideas, I think, help to explain some difficulties we may face when, for example, the body wants to survive but isn't provided beliefs that help it survive. So there's conflict. Or when the mind seeks to disbelieve all that is around it and how that can affect the body's ability to survive. This thought came to me maybe about a month ago, and I had reread it and was like, wow, that was very interesting. I mean, of course, I probably need to flesh it out with some details about what kind of beliefs and what the body does to survive. But the idea just seemed to resonate, just the statements by themselves. The mind is about belief, and the body is about survival. And the things that we believe should help us survive, right? And we need to find out, of course, is what does survival mean? I think the body's base survival is just actually staying alive. And I think that is part of the difficulty. The body wants to stay alive, but the mind does not find satisfaction in merely staying alive. The mind finds satisfaction in truths. The mind finds satisfaction in at least the building of a reality that makes sense. And that can be hard when some parts of reality don't make sense, like bad things happening to good people. That just doesn't seem to make sense. There's nothing that you could say seems to justify that as good, right? Or good things happening to bad people, right? That doesn't make sense. That is not something that the mind can easily handle. And when the mind, right, which is looking for a belief or truth, cannot find it, it shuts down. And in shutting down, it's now working against the survival mechanisms of the body, right? And so that's why this idea is really interesting to me, and why just saying it does something, even if I can't flesh it out with stories and examples. The mind is interested in belief, and the body, survival. And, for myself, I find that I'm interested in how can I work with the survival mechanism of the body such that it helps foster and work with true beliefs, so that things that would work against my survival, like, say, lack of participation in the grid, right, which works against my survival, how can it be willing to work with the mind and come up with a new way to meet this challenge? That's one of the things that I think it also helps helps us to face. But also if you think about it in, say, in a relationship, right? If we're thinking about it in a relationship, we want to think that the relationship is working, believing that it's true, and yet our body is clearly telling us, get out, right? This is not healthy. Or the body is saying, hey, this is great, and your mind is like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, what's going on here? It can't find a settled place for truth, even when the body is talking. And so, I guess this is another version of the mind-body dichotomy. But putting this belief and survival aspect to it seems to give it a different kind of flavor and draw out stories that make a little bit more sense, meaning that how can I search for truths that help me survive? And because the whole point is not just survival, and I think that's the mistake that many, at least philosophers I've come across with dealing with the human condition, make, oh, it's all about survival. No, I don't think so. I mean, you have people that, burn themselves for ideals, or people that decide they want to go and do something for an ideal that's clearly not going to keep them alive. So it's not merely about survival. I think it's about this relationship between belief slash truth, and survival. And that's where we have this tension that needs to be resolved. And like I've shared, we can find examples in relationships. We can find examples in ideal seeking, and whatever else I've said, since this is Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. So that's my thought for the day. It's a little bit more esoteric than the last ones have been, but I do want to throw in this little thing about negativity and breathing. You can breathe your way out of negativity. I know I shouldn't put this in here, it's like not related, but who cares? You can breathe your way out of negativity, and it's amazing. So I'll talk about that some other time. But here, once again, the mind is interested in belief and truth, whereas the body is interested in survival, plain and simple. And that's the tension that we deal with in our mind-body dualistic experience. Even though I'm a holistic kind of a person, I have to recognize mind and body and thing that's going on there. So that's it. We're out of time. James Coleman, Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. Write me at innerpeacearts@protonmail.com. Check out the blog at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com. And once again, I hope that this was really impactful for you.